Hey guys, it's John from Physical Living, and in this video I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the basic bird dog exercise, which is a great exercise for strengthening your core, especially your lower back, and really good for targeting that deep core musculature that surrounds and stabilizes your spine. So I want to spend most of the time in this video just walking you through it so it doesn't go on forever. I've got an article drafted up that talks a lot about what the exercise is, what it's useful for, what kind of benefits you can get from it, and how to progress it in some different ways, because this video I'm just going to cover the most basic variation on hands and knees on the floor. So I really just want to walk you through it. It's a deceptively simple exercise because it looks really easy, and it should be easy for people who are healthy and fit, but it's very difficult for most people just to perform it properly. And that's what you want to focus on when you're doing the bird dog, is putting your effort into the technique. Not trying to increase the intensity or your exertion in the exercise. You're just trying to get your form perfect every single rep. That's how you do a good job at it. That's how you get the results out of it. So let me just show you a couple reps, and so you see where we're heading, and then I'll walk you through the basics and some of the finer points. So this is what it looks like. Just a slow and controlled movement. Just like that. So to get set up, you're going to start in this hands and knees position. Just want to find a comfortable spot. So your shoulders should be directly above your hands, fingers pointed forward, and your knees should be directly beneath your hips. So you're just in this nice, comfortable, evenly balanced position. You don't want to be too far back or too far forward with too much weight on your hands. Just a nice, comfortable, centered position. From here, most important thing to keep in mind is that you're maintaining a neutral spine, so a lengthened spine. You don't want your back rounding, you don't want your lower back arching, you don't want your neck extending backwards like that. You just want a neutral spine. And so there are different ways to do this. One of the ways is that if you have a dowel or a PVC pipe or a broomstick or something, you can place it on your back and make sure that you have 3 points of contact: the back of your head, your mid-back, and your lower back or your tailbone. And you just want to maintain that position of the dowel while you're performing the exercise. And it is going to move around on you while you're performing it, even if you're really good at it. So you probably need a partner there to make sure that it stays in the right spot. And if you have that available to you, that's the best way to learn the exercise, because it'll make sure those 3 contact cues, the back of your head, your mid-back, and your lower back or your tailbone, they're going to make sure you're in the right position. But if you can maintain a neutral spine without the contact cue, great. And so that's what we're going for. So you're going to get in that nice, comfortable, balanced position. You're going to lift with the crown of your head, tuck your chin slightly, and then pack your shoulders down onto your torso. So you're not shrugging your shoulders upwards, you're packing them downwards on your torso to stabilize them. And you're going to maintain these points throughout the full range of motion of the exercise. The neck alignment, the shoulder pack. You're going to make sure that your mid-back is aligned properly in that neutral position, so you don't want it rounded, you don't want it caved in, your chest sticking out. You want just that nice neutral spine. Same thing with your tailbone. You don't want your bum lifted up really high. You don't want it tucked really far. You just want it in that neutral position. So once you're here, you're in a nice, comfortable spot, balanced and proper spinal alignment. You're going to brace your entire core. So you're going to contract this entire corset of muscle around your abdomen, keeping the shoulders packed, squeezing the glutes, and drawing your belly in. And you're going to maintain that abdominal brace throughout the entire duration of the exercise. That's how you're going to support your spine and make sure that the movement of the exercise is coming from your shoulder and your hip instead of your spine. You're trying to keep your spine fixed in space so that the movement is happening at these really mobile joints, your shoulder and your hips, where you have a lot of mobility available. So you're in position, good spinal alignment, and you brace up, you tense everything up with an exhale, and then you're going to lift one arm and the opposite knee, and then you're going to raise them, reaching them in opposite directions. So with the arm, you can either just raise it up in front of you with your palm facing down, like a Superman type flying position, Or what my preference would be twisting it externally, turning it externally so that your palm faces across your center line. That's just a nice neutral shoulder position. I think it's a more comfortable, safer, less painful position for a lot of people. And so that would be my preference. But that's a minor detail. But you want to reach it as high as you can go while maintaining that shoulder pack. So if your shoulder becomes unpacked, unstabilized, and kind of loosey-goosey, then you don't want to go quite that high. You want to reduce the range of motion a little bit to maintain that shoulder pack position. So with the leg, main thing to keep in mind is that when you lift the knee off the ground, you're going to extend the leg backwards, locking the knee and pulling the toes, flexing the ankles. So you're pulling your toes back towards your shin. Then you're going to go into full hip extension, not over hip extension. And you also don't want your hips to rotate. So you don't want them to open up to the outside. You want to keep your hips in one line, in that neutral spine position. Some people describe it as keeping your hips squared up so that one is not turning or tilting or deviating from that neutral position. So you've got the arm movement, you've got the leg movement, and you put it together. And this is a contralateral exercise, so you're using one arm and the opposite leg and vice versa. So you get set up, hands and knees, good balanced position. Check in with your spinal alignment, get it close enough to neutral. Neutral spine it's not a static fixed position, that's the same exact position. It's more of a slight range. And with an exercise like this, especially with it being unloaded, it's just important that you get pretty close to it. So don't get paralysis by analysis and try and get it so perfect that you paralyze yourself being afraid to perform the exercise. Just get it pretty close. You can use the dowel if it's helpful, and then brace up and then raise one arm and the opposite leg. Get them as high as you can while maintaining all those points we talked about before, keeping the neutral spine, staying braced, keeping that shoulder packed, and moving to full hip extension but not over extension. Going to pause for a moment and then return back down and then switch to the other side. And your tempo is going to be a slow and controlled movement throughout the full exercise. And when you get to the top, you want to pause briefly for 2 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, maybe a little longer, and just hold that position. And the entire goal of this exercise is to minimize excessive movement, that body English. You don't want to be shaking around. You want to keep it all locked down. So that's why you're maintaining that ab bracing, the whole core bracing, to minimize the spine moving. You're trying to get all the movement happening at the shoulder and the opposite hip so that your spine is not deviating. So again, you're going to pause in the top position, lower back down, try and have a smooth transition, just like that. For the breathing, you're going to exhale through effort and inhale as you relax. So you're going to exhale up and then inhale as you lower back down, exhale up, and then lower back down. So those are the basics of the bird dog exercise, the most basic variation. There are ways to make it harder, and if you could perform this exercise with good technique, under control, for a good 10 to 15 reps on each side, then I'd encourage you to try some of the more advanced variations, which you can check out on my site, physicalliving.com. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up, and if not, give me that thumbs down so I know. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, and take care.